All right. Well, hello there and welcome to Friday with the Family. I'm Julia Benbrook with O State TV and I will be hosting again today. We've really enjoyed having these and had some awesome guests, but today is really exciting because we have two soon-to-be graduates of Oklahoma State University. And obviously this weekend looks a little bit different for them. So we're going to check in and kind of see how their 4 years have been and also see how this COVID-19 pandemic has impacted their senior year and as they move toward the future. So we'd like to welcome Drew Grunewald and Brent Cunningham. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
I think for having us.
Awesome. And so, okay, Drew, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, your major, kind of what you were involved in on campus, just to give people an idea of what your 4 years looks like.
Yes, of course. So I am from Woodward, Oklahoma, which is a small little town in Northwest Oklahoma. Julia and I actually went to school together there. So go Boomers.
Go Boomers.
My major is communication sciences and disorders. And throughout my time at OSU, I was involved in several different things. One of them was actually something called Student Alumni Board, which is the student branch of the Alumni Association. And this was a wonderful opportunity. I was able to serve on exec through this, and just I was able to meet all kinds of wonderful people and just really broaden my horizons at OSU. And then I was also involved in Greek life. I'm a member of Kappa Kappa Gamma, and so that was another wonderful experience that I've gotten to have, and just really have enjoyed all of it. And I know as I'm talking about this, I'm gonna just get so nostalgic over all of it, but
yeah, and it's such a weird way to say goodbye. Your final moments are a little bit different. So what has that felt like for you?
That's been pretty strange. I was thinking about it just the other day about how it's kind of weird not to have like closure almost with my time on at OSU's campus. But what has made it a little bit easier is I'm sticking around a little bit longer, and so I don't have to quite say goodbye yet. But it has been pretty strange.
Yeah, and so as a member of Student Alumni Board and doing so much with them, are you excited to step into that alumni status?
I am very excited. I think one, because I know all the benefits that we have as an alumni and as a member of the Alumni Association. I know all the opportunities that I have to stay involved. My dad has been a really great example for me in that aspect, and he's involved in his chapter and he does all kinds of events with them. And he's still giving back. He's still going to things, and so I know that I have that opportunity as well to stay involved. And my time as a Cowboy is just beginning. It's not coming to an end. It's just getting started. So.
I agree. All right, Brent, how about you? Give us a little bit of your background and what your 4 years looks like.
So my name is Brent Cunningham. I'm from Bartlesville, Oklahoma. I graduated with an accounting major. Fun fact about me, I was actually born in Las Vegas. Then 2 weeks later, flew to Bartles, Vegas. So that's where I was raised and grown up. My time at OSU has been really special. I've met a lot of great people and done a lot of different things on campus, whether it be President's Leadership Council. That's actually where Drew and Julia, we all met through that my freshman year. So that was a great experience, just coming in and meeting right off from the gate, just different leaders on campus. And, that did lead me to get involved with the Alumni Association. I served last year as Vice President of Traditions on the Student Alumni Board. So yeah, Drew and I got to do that together. So it's been a really great journey for sure.
Yeah, and they both mentioned President's Leadership Council, which proves to you these two have been involved since the moment they stepped on campus and have only just continued to kind of grow that and get to know people on campus. So we're very proud of both of you. And Brent, kind of same question for you. What does it feel like saying goodbye in this weird time? I'm sure it's not how you envisioned it.
Yeah, I think that's the weirdest part is, like I said, like being involved and just going across campus. I mean, you see so many like little instances of just like saying hi to someone, that's something that you really miss. And now like kind of transitioning off and being an alumni finally, it's kind of like, well, I mean, where are those memories going to happen? But I think that's what's great about OSU and the Alumni Association. There's so many opportunities to bring us back to the campus and get us to stay involved and see our friends and family again.
Okay, so why'd you pick OSU in the first place?
I definitely picked OSU. I was kind of born into to bleed orange. My mom went to Oklahoma State. She did Greek life. So definitely grown up just going to like homecoming and all the football games and basketball games. And I just kind of knew this is where I wanted to be, especially after the first tour. I knew this is a family away from home. So I definitely loved being in Stillwater.
Awesome. Okay, so this next one's for both of you. We'll start with you, Drew. Favorite memory in 4 years?
Favorite memory.
One. Yep.
Man, this one is pretty tough. I would have to say favorite memory is probably my very first football game as a student. I've been coming over to football games since I was a little kid. My parents have always had season tickets, but I remember coming over for my first game as a student and just realizing just how much bigger it was. Like I had just came with my parents, kind of stayed over there with them, but coming and seeing just like the morale that's there on game day, seeing how much everyone comes together. I mean, from all walks of life, from all walks of campus, just seeing everyone come together and be so spirited and be just all out for the Cowboys, like whether it's an 11 a.m. kickoff or a 7 p.m. kickoff. I mean, everyone was just so spirited, so ready. And I just really felt at home. I felt like I was a part of something.
And before I send this one on to Brent, I almost forgot that as viewers, you can be sending in questions as well. And this is a great chance to kind of see what it was like for these seniors in this weird time. And so we want to remind you, you can submit those questions as our guest using the Ask a Question button if you're participating on our ALC webinar service, and then also through the comments if you're watching live on Facebook. And they will get as many of those comments to me as they can, and we'll get those to Drew and Brent. So don't forget to submit those. But Brent, what is your favorite memory in 4 years?
So my favorite memory is actually sports related too. Something Drew knows, I'm a big Mike Boynton fan. I love him to death. I love what he's shaping our program to be. And I remember my sophomore year when he took over, it was a Bedlam game against Trey Young in Stillwater. And Trey did have a great game, right? He dropped 48 points, but we still got the victory. And one of those amazing plays was Mitchell Solomon just diving on the floor and grabbing the basketball. And I think that shows a lot about Mike Boyd and just like sports at OSU in general. It's just like how much hard work can really be talent and how much hard work can really set you up for success. So I definitely think that was my favorite like sports moment memory at OSU.
I love that. I remember that game. I'm a big Mike Boynton fan as well. He's a good guy.
He's awesome. Sure. He's awesome.
So let's take it back to kind of when things started to change for you guys about spring break, and you kind of knew it might not be normal. What was that like, knowing you weren't going to come back? And then also, did you stick around? Did you stay in Stillwater, or did you work remotely from home? How did you do that? Brent, go ahead.
So it was such a weird transition. I actually didn't stay in Stillwater. I mean, we had spring break plans, but I mean, they obviously got canceled, everything shutting down. But I kind of just stayed in Bartlesville, went back, moved all my stuff up, and brought everything back home. But it was just the weird part of just how quick everything turned around, and just doing all your classes online and everything closing down. It was really a transition for sure. And it was weird. It's not getting to say bye, but I think throughout this whole time, though, I've definitely stayed in contact with friends, whether it's GroupMe or just texting or FaceTiming. But yeah, it was definitely a weird transition for sure.
Did students, when you kind of like heard that might happen before spring break, were students nervous? Were they talking to each other? Or were you kind of just like, we don't know what's going to happen?
I mean, I really didn't hear about really anything till I actually went on spring break. I think the very next day, I heard about this, and like I saw that Oklahoma canceled their university. So I thought maybe there was a chance of us happening to us. But then, 3 days later, a week later, it did happen to us. It came to reality. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely had no word into it going into spring break, but it definitely hit us fast coming in and out of spring break.
Yeah. How about you, Drew? Step us kind of through that.
So before spring break, I remember I talked to my parents about, the coronavirus and everything a little bit, but I kind of thought, I was like, no, there's no way this is going to happen. I think I just told myself that it's not going to happen. So I was like, I'm not even going to prepare. I'm not going to pack my stuff. Like, I'm going home for good. And then I was at home. I was supposed to go to Colorado for spring break with some friends. Well, that got canceled. And then so I went to Tulsa and just stayed with a friend for a couple days. And then I was sitting at my kitchen table. I'd gotten home and I saw the email and I just started crying. I was so sad. But I was just sitting there. I was like, oh my gosh, like I just really couldn't believe that it had happened. And after that, after I kind of got over it a little bit, I didn't have hardly any clothes because I had only packed for about a week. And so I did all the laundry, and then I pretty much stayed home. I went back and forth between Woodward and Edmond to see both my parents, but I went back to Stillwater a little bit. I would have loved to just stay there the whole time, but it was kind of nice to be at home for a little bit. But of course I was sad, but just trying to make the most of it.
Absolutely. The cowboy way,
Yes.
So are you guys going to get to celebrate in any way this weekend for graduation?
So yesterday, actually, my parents, I was in Edmond, and they threw together a little surprise like drive-by graduation party, and I was so surprised. I wasn't planning on doing anything. I just figured I would kind of hang out, go see my mom for Mother's Day. And I went outside to check on a package. So I've been waiting on a package, and my parents were like, no, 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 don't. And I walked outside and I ruined the surprise because I saw some stuff in the front yard, but they were like, oh, it's okay. And then some people started driving by. And so that was really sweet, just to kind of have a little mini celebration. And then we kind of hung out in the front yard. My dad and I played cornhole and just we had some chicken wings. It was kind of like a little tailgate, but so that was a lot of fun. That was kind of our celebration.
That's so fun. I love that idea. How about you, Britt? Are you doing anything?
I think for this weekend, I think we'll probably just go out to eat with the family and everything. I have a lot of family from Tulsa, so they'll probably come down. I think we're going to watch the graduation video tonight all together, so that's something to look forward to. I think one thing my parents talked about, though, is there was a lot of Bartlesville kids that went to OSU, so I think they're going to have like a big graduation, like build a stage and just kind of have it this summer and just have everyone out and have a big celebration. So I think
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
See, that's the thing. You guys are going to get to do it numerous times. You do it in the summer, back in December. We'll just keep celebrating you. That'll be great.
Exactly.
Let's see. Okay, we have a couple of questions coming in from audience members as well. So Jessica asked, are either of you planning on attending that in-person graduation ceremony in December?
Yes, definitely. I will 100% be there. I will never miss the opportunity to walk up and hopefully still be able to shake Burns' hand, but I am definitely going to. I feel like that's a milestone. I mean, yes, we'll be graduated about 6 months by then, but I think it's still 100% worth it to get to actually go through the motion and get to walk across that stage and hopefully see a lot of my peers in the audience. So.
Absolutely. I know. I definitely think that not only is it a celebration, like for me and like coming that far, I mean, my family, I think they're just excited to see that it opened up back in December for graduation. So I think they'll all be happy to be there for that day as well for that milestone. So absolutely.
And then what advice would you guys give to the next class of Cowboys coming in the fall? Brent, I'll let you take that one.
Man, I definitely think the best advice I can give is, come in and definitely get involved. But I always keep in the back of my head, just like a saying is like, people are not going to remember you, 10 years from now of like what you did, but they're going to remember for how you made them feel. And I definitely think that, coming at OSU and it being that Cowboy family, that just really fits that mold. And so like just simple things of just saying hi or just being a welcoming person in general, that's definitely the best advice I give someone, because that really truly enables that Cowboy family to come in your life and really affect you in a way and develop you in a leader. So.
How about you, Drew?
Oh, that's pretty hard to beat. That's pretty good advice. I would also just have to say to just take it all in. That's so big, but just everything from walking to class to just seeing your friends on campus, small moments like that, walking through the student union, getting your textbooks, all the way to the big things like homecoming and things like graduation. Because something I found myself thinking about was, wow, I used to dread going to class. And now I wish I could go. Like I was sitting at home, I was like, I wish I was walking to class right now. That's something I never thought I would say. But I would just say to take it all in and try to find, the joy in every little thing you're doing, whether that's walking to class, going to the library to print things off, or just big fun things like going to a basketball game or, having all night pomp or something like that. But I would just say to take it all in and enjoy it all, try to find something good in all of it.
And you bring up a good point about just spots on campus. Places you missed. Do you have a favorite spot?
My favorite spot probably would have to be the Alumni Association. I spent a lot of time in that building through things like SAB and just being there for meetings. And I also worked a part-time job there downstairs at a little front desk. And so I was there a lot and I honestly really miss it. I had a little round table that wasn't very big, but it was mine. And I got to just kind of greet people as they came in, see students coming in for campus tours was really exciting. And so I would say the Alumni Association.
Yeah. Brent, do you have a favorite location?
Oh man, I probably Gallagher. I mean, just because Mike Boyne's there and everything, the basketball team, I love it to death. That or Cadoba, because I feel like Cadoba's awesome. I'm gonna miss that so much, but also a lot of my friends used to go there and eat together, so definitely had some memories too.
Late night chips and queso.
Absolutely. You can't beat it. You can't beat it.
They're open until like 3 too, so you can be studying late. And
Exactly.
Okay, so what are your career plans from here? You've been working all this time. Now's the moment. What's the next step look like? Go ahead, Drew.
Okay. So next year, I have actually accepted a position at the Alumni Association. I will be the Family Programs Coordinator, and so I get to start that on May 20th. I'm super excited. I have really enjoyed my time, serving in student programs through the Alumni Association and working there part-time. And so this is really something I wouldn't have pictured myself doing probably this time last year, but just through some doors that have been opened and different opportunities that I've been able to come in contact with, I'll be able to do that. So I'm really excited. Might still be working from home when I start, but that's okay because I'll still be working for the Alumni Association. So I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome. Congratulations. We're excited to have you still in the OSU family.
So thank you.
Now, Brent, your turn. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. Sorry, I didn't know if I was supposed to say something. So I think for people that know me, besides Mike Boyden, another love and passion for me is Phillips 66. It was definitely a goal of mine coming in to want to work for the company one day, just because, well, one, seeing their impact at OSU with homecoming and all the celebration, just their love for students. So yeah, I'm actually going to be starting working there this summer. June 15th, my start date. So I'm very excited for sure.
Awesome. And I think you have one of your former professors is watching this, because that question just got added. It says, Brent, one of your former professors wants to know.
If it's Miss Muriel, shout out Miss Muriel. Loved audit this semester. It was an amazing time.
Awesome. I love that. Well, okay, so we know you both like going to basketball games, football games. What are some of the other sports that you've been to see? Have you had a chance to drive by O'Brate Stadium or go to a tennis match or any of those things yet?
So I'll go ahead again. So this semester, one of my really good friends, I kind of dragged her to some basketball games and she dragged me to some wrestling matches. And wrestling is not something I know a lot about or really had ever been to a lot before. But this year I got the opportunity to go to several matches and they were so much fun. It helps that we're really, really good at wrestling here at OSU, but that's been something that's really cool just to kind of dive into something that's a little bit different. I love sports in general. Would probably go to any sports game if you asked me, but that was something that's been really cool. I have also driven by O'Brate and it's been very sad to see. I just want to go in and sit down, but I'm really looking forward to sticking around and hopefully going to some games next year. So
absolutely, it's going to be worth it. I'm obsessed with the stadium. It's very, very cool. How about you, Brent?
So one sport I did in high school was cross country, and we actually had a girl from my team actually come and run at Oklahoma State. So every year OSU hosts a high school cross country tournament. So it's called the Cowboy Jamboree. So I actually went there a lot throughout college and just saw my team ran, but also I got to see collegiate competition and got to see Anna run too. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. To take you all the way through different phases of life. That's really cool. Well, okay, so now this one might get you in trouble, Brent, because we know you have at least one professor watching, maybe more. But someone wants to know what professor made the most impact on you, and I'll let you take that first.
Absolutely. I think one professor that really stood out through college was Rachel Cox. So she taught financial accounting, which is the first accounting class you take. And I took it my sophomore spring semester. And what really stood out to me about her is just how much she really impacts the student, not only in the classroom, but outside, whether that's just getting involved on campus or getting involved a local church. She really just makes sure that the student is safe and secure and is loving their major. She really definitely had some moments after class. She would talk to me just about my dreams and wanted to work for Phillips, and just every ambition I had, she wanted to make sure that I got there. So definitely Rachel Cox.
Awesome. How about you, Drew?
So I would have to say mine is actually my advisor, who is also my professor for some classes. Her name is Leslie Baldwin, and she has just been really great. She's been my advisor since my sophomore year, and then I got to have her as professor for some classes, but she's just been really encouraging to me throughout my time at OSU. My major was communication sciences and disorders, kind of a mouthful, but then not deciding to pursue a career in that, I was really scared, and she was just very comforting, very helpful, very supportive. Just telling me what my options were, that I still had options, I still could find something that I loved. And So she's just been a really great kind of influence on my life, and someone who I've really enjoyed having in class and having in her being in her office. And someone I'll definitely miss. So.
And then since I met you both during President's Leadership Council when you were freshmen, I met Drew before, probably at like birth, but with that Woodward connection. But back in PLC, when you first showed up at PLC retreat, that was probably one of your first times as a student to be around campus. If you could go back now and tell that person one thing, what would it be?
I'll let you go first.
I'm making you really think.
I would say that, I'm trying to think of a way to sum this up. I would say it's never too late to start over. That's something that I have really kind of stuck to that I think is really important. Whether that's you're in a class and you're doing really bad and you're wanting to like turn yourself around, it's never too late to start over. Or you're going through college, you find that you don't like your major, it's never too late to start over. You can always go back and do something else. Or whether you're about to graduate and wanting to do something else, something different than you've always thought you would do, it's never too late to start over. I would say that's been kind of a mantra of mine and something that my parents have always kind of told me. So I think that's pretty important.
That's great advice. How about you, Brent?
I would say just like PLC, it really taught me just to have enthusiasm. So I'd say always tell people to stay hype in every regard of their life, whether that's just having a positive outlook with people around them or just always welcome people to eat lunch with you or anything in that way. Just if people remember you for having a hype attitude, that spreads positivity in their life. So it makes everyone's days better around you.
It's never too late to start over and stay hyped. I love those. I'm going to carry both those with me. That's a good idea. Okay. Now we have one more question before we wrap up here. And that is, what is your favorite OSU tradition? So whether that's fight song, homecoming, Greek events, what is it that one thing that like we do better than everybody else? How about you, Brent? We'll start with you.
I think definitely homecoming. So for many regards, one, it's been such a long tradition at Oklahoma State. My mom got to experience it with Greek life, and she really installed on me on that idea of just being a part of something bigger than yourself. And I never really understood what she meant until growing up and going to the football games and going to walk around and seeing all those decks come to life. It really just shows a lot of teamwork and commitment of what these Greek houses are about. So I would definitely say homecoming for that regard and just doing the pomping and all the decks for sure.
Oh man, I feel like you took mine. I was trying to think of something better than, how can you top America's Greatest Homecoming?
True.
Oh gosh, I would have to say that's probably my favorite tradition too, just because I've been coming over to games and to homecoming since I was little. My dad tells me about walk around with me on his shoulders, just looking at all the decks and stuff. And so to go from that, just like a little kid, to getting to see it as a college student and just seeing the impact that we have on Stillwater and the whole community, and to see that homecoming is not just for college students, it's not just for fans, it's not just for alumni, it's for all of us to come together. I think that's something that was really special and really good to see, and to see just people from Greek life, people from Res life, and just anyone on campus, we can all come together to appreciate homecoming and to enjoy homecoming, and just to see the changes that are being made and just how it continues to evolve, but how we continue to we enjoy our tradition and we hold tight to that, but we're not afraid to like go and try new things. And so I would have to say homecoming. It's America's greatest for a reason. I will say that.
Sure.
I agree. And you have a new niece, Drew. Congrats are in order for your family to take to homecoming one day.
Oh my goodness. It's been a crazy week, and May's a busy month. She was born Wednesday. So she's just a couple days old now. So
I doubt that it will be long before she has on an orange outfit from the looks of your background there.
Oh man, no doubt, yes.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you guys both so much for joining us and for all you've done as students at OSU. And I know you'll continue to do that as alumni. So exciting for both of you starting things in Bartlesville, Brent, and Drew getting to keep you here in the Stillwater network. And so thank you again, and congratulations. We really do wish you the best of luck and are excited to see you in December. And I do have some announcements before we go. Let me pull those up here. For all graduating seniors, we want you to know that you can join us today at 7 o'clock. So this is going to be live on both the Oklahoma State University Facebook page as well as the O State TV page. So this is a celebration video for all the graduates, and it does not in any way replace what we're doing in December. We want people to be there in person and to be able to celebrate them in that way. But this is just another way to remind people that we are thinking of them this weekend and that we are so proud of all of our graduates. If you'd like to show your support for the class of 2020 and more students like Drew and Brent, we invite you to visit the Alumni Association's Facebook page to utilize a new Facebook frame that we published today. You can also submit a 20 for 20 note for this semester's graduates at orangeconnection.org/20 for 20. So we have another very exciting Friday with the Family planned for next week, and we'll be visiting with Curt Carter, who served as Pistol Pete from 1980 to 1981 in that academic year. And so he'll have a lot of behind the scenes secrets to share with us and his experiences as OSU's greatest America's greatest mascot, also OSU's. And you can sign up for that on Friday with the Family now on cowboy.family website. So thank you guys for joining us. I'm Julia Benbrook. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, go Pokes.
Go Folks. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
It was awesome.